Ask Griffin why he sabotaged Cupcak's tan prior to the show. He ended up winning. The judges told Cupcake to wash it off as it was terrible. I'm sure he will deny it. All right, everybody, welcome to Bodybuilders Amateur Hours Bar Talk. Right here we got Jamie, Andy, and special guest Mr. Miyagi of Bodybuilding, Mike Griffin. What's going on,
Hey,
Mike?
hey, yeah. Hey, Josh. How you doing, guys?
Hey, yo, Mike.
I'm doing
Hey,
great, man. How you guys making out?
good.
Good,
Good.
Fantastic,
good.
buddy. I'm really good. I'm really super happy to have you guys on again and again. Well, you guys on. Mike, happy to have you on. You guys are always just
Hey,
here.
it's a
We're
pleasure.
just
Yeah.
we're the luggage.
Yeah.
Mike's the carry on.
Yeah.
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 He's the one, the special one.
That's a
Again,
pleasure to sit with your boys.
I love your hair.
Thanks, man. It keeps me. It was different. This is my first real winter with long hair, and I'm telling you, like, there's no manual to keep it out of your face. So you don't know what to do.
And I suppose you don't do the ponytail.
No, I won't do that. I'm not
That
there.
boy.
No.
That
Ah,
boy.
good, yeah,
You gotta
good
get
point.
an old '80s Camaro to go with that hair.
You know, if I
Yeah.
could afford one, I'd have one right in the yard right now. But no, it's Chevy Cruise.
Whatever
Awesome.
works.
Yeah, it works. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah. You're trendy now. You're making a new trend.
Yeah. Yeah,
Nice.
I'm turning back the years.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we'll just jump right in here. We don't got a heck of a lot of time. Let's just get right in. First off, so people that are watching, if you like this crap that we're gonna give you, just hit the like button, subscribe, and ring that damn bell. If you want to see more of us, just hit the bell, and we'll be popping up there for you. All right, Mike. So people that don't know who you are, I'm not sure if that's a thing, but
Yeah.
Mike.
do you
Well,
want to give
St. John,
a
that
brief,
knows me pretty good.
yeah, do you want to give a brief rundown about yourself and like tell everybody who you are and why you're here, pretty much,
Yeah.
besides us asking?
Yeah. Mike Griffin from St. John, New Brunswick. Been here all my life, Moncton a little bit back and forth, and yeah, been into bodybuilding for a very long time, and now I teach nutrition. I help people with lifestyle change. I work for a company called Simply for Life. I've been there for the last 19 years. So yeah, it's I've been there a while, and yeah, I love what I do, and yeah, bodybuilding kind of put me on the path to where I am right now, and I'll never forget it. That's why it's fun to see you guys that are still into it now, because I remember when I first started, and well, Jamie and then and Andy I met a little later, but Jamie was in it. Pretty much the first show I was ever in was with Jamie and Dion.
Yeah. I
Oh
think
yeah, and we had Dion earlier a couple episodes ago, and again he mentioned you. You guys, like JB pointed out earlier off camera, that would you we pretty much mentioned you in almost every podcast, and so we're going on probably 6, 7, 8. I don't know how many we're doing, but almost every one you've come up. So you have definitely been a huge influence in our lives, and many other people's lives throughout bodybuilding and just lifestyle. So
Thanks, man.
you've changed a lot of people's lives. Get on the juice. Obviously, we will never forget. So thank you for
no,
that.
that's right.
No, thank you. Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Quite the legend.
Yeah, well, I
Learned
love
a lot from
bodybuilding.
Mike over the years.
What's
Haha.
that?
Learned a lot from Mike over the years. I learned how to pose. I don't know if you remember
Yeah,
that. You're the
I
first
do.
person who ever taught me how to pose. That must have
Yeah,
been a
well,
big
you
deal for
had
you.
you had everything else in a headlock. It was just kind of just helping you with the presentation, but yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I remember
great.
that. Yeah.
I was telling the Mike every time I went to a show at Juniors and look over in the corner and I'd see Mike Griffin. I said, "Oh God, not again!" Every time,
Well,
every time.
yeah,
I,
1992, Mr. Moncton. I remember when I got there, I was up there with my dad that year, and you and Dion in the corner, and you guys had that hollowed out face you always get.
yeah,
And my face didn't look like that, so I looked right at my dad and I said, "There's no way I can beat these guys. Look at their faces." And
until,
yeah, anyway,
until
yeah.
we took our clothes off and then said, "Oh yeah, okay."
Well, you guys were still good, but your face was the leanest part at that time.
It's
Yeah.
yeah, never served me well in later years. I still got the lines.
Yeah, no,
They
that
just
means
they
you're still in
stay.
shape.
Do you guys, when I started competing, I didn't have the lines.
Mm.
As
I
soon as
didn't
I
either.
started dieting, they like slowly got worse and worse and worse. Like every time I did a show, it got worse, and then never really. I was like, it'll come back. I'll put some weight on, and it'll be fine. Didn't really. They're still there.
No,
Yeah,
no,
Is that
it's
is
a
that
level of
okay?
leanness. Yeah, yeah, no, yeah, it's all about I think conditioning, and when you got that chiseled out jaw, you can bet there's a six pack underneath somewhere.
mm,
Like man, I like shows made me ugly, man. I was like everything else turned great, but
You
my
look
face just.
old now. Yeah, what's going on?
It's like we all look.
yeah,
Not, I shouldn't say ugly. I don't look ugly. It makes me just look. Yeah, put some years on me. Feels like.
I know.
Yeah,
Old.
Mine has been like this for probably 15 years.
All right,
yeah,
Yeah,
it's crazy.
yeah.
So again, this podcast is for mostly geared towards amateurs, right, and people that we know and they're coming up through the ranks. Um, that doesn't happen to everybody. So go compete. You're
No,
not gonna look. You're not gonna
no.
look like an old man in your 20s if you want to decide to
no,
compete.
Mike
So
and
don't worry
Andy
about
both
it.
don't have them.
Yeah.
Either
no,
one of them have it, right?
no.
So a
Conscious
little bit
fat.
of
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it's just luck of the draw, maybe.
yeah,
genetics probably on our part, Josh.
yeah.
Ah, son of a bitch. That's horrible. Yeah. Cool. So, Mike, I don't know if okay, I got to point this out. I've been watching like the podcast and I do edit these things, and I've noticed I say so a lot and
Yeah.
excellent. I'm just like I really have to try to catch myself, which is it's
Just
annoying
let it flow.
me when I do the editing. I'm like, oh my god, so I have to try to. I'm gonna try to catch myself on that one.
Do you edit them out or do you leave them in?
I'll just put other words over my mouth.
Just put a different word on there. So throw an or something.
Yeah.
Uh, that's funny. It's just like a weird filler. But Mike, so what? When was your first show with Jamie?
Jamie and I competed in the 1992 Mr. Moncton, and
Hmm.
that was the first year I really got a headlock on the diet. I met a girl and a guy, a couple. Her name was Cheryl Lyons and Kirk Smith, and she gave me the contest diet. And we call this the 12-week shredder back in the day because it started 12 weeks out. And I remember the diet to the T. It was 2 pieces of toast and 10 egg whites. It was an apple mid-morning. It was a cup of rice and a can of tuna for lunch. It was an apple in the afternoon and 2 potatoes and a piece of fish for supper. And
That sounds
and she
horrible.
said I could have popcorn at night. So every night, man, about an hour and a half after supper, I'd be ripping the ass out of a bowl of popcorn, and it wasn't normal size popcorn. But anyway, it started myself, of course. But this diet worked. I got completely shredded. There wasn't an ounce of fat on my body. I remember I weighed 128 pounds my first show.
I was.
Uh,
I thought I was bad.
oh
I
no,
thought I
yeah.
was.
Well,
I was
Wow.
the biggest at 132.
well, man, I was
Holy-
18 years old and I was 150 pounds before I started the diet. So
Yeah,
Oh.
Wow.
these are
wow.
junior years. These were junior years,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So, and I just followed the same diet every time I did a show. That 12-week shredder come out. I started 12 weeks out every time, and every time I did that diet, I won. I won, yeah, a couple of titles.
Yeah.
But you didn't find? Did you like? That's crazy. Did you lose muscle mass while dieting with that?
No, I was never a big guy, anyways. Really, my arms were big, but overall, I wasn't a great big bodybuilder. So when I started my diets, I was, when I was a junior, I never got heavier than 150 pounds in the off season.
Okay.
Hmm.
And then when I got senior, that's when I started to learn how to eat. And but still, I think there was a day I hit 200 and then missed a meal and dropped down to 195 the next day. So I couldn't hold the weight. I couldn't hold the weight. So my best weights were always between 177, 180 in the off season.
Yeah, so we're kind of similar that way. We have like almost the same similar body type or metabolism, right?
Yeah,
I'm pretty much right there with you with that kind of it. We
the
struggle.
curse and a gift at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could never really get big unless I made it a full time job. And
Yeah.
after a while, bodybuilding just seemed to become more of a job, trying to keep eating all the food all the time. And when I got married and kids and house and full time job teaching nutrition, it just didn't seem to fit my lifestyle anymore. So yeah, and I'm so proud of all the shows that I've done and able to do as well as I've done, and to carry that with me now, and to be talking about it. And almost 50 years old, and these are days back when I was 17, 18, back in the day.
Back in the day.
Back. Oh, amazing. That sounds your diet sounds kind of similar to how I started when there was like just fish, no fats, you know, just very little food. Pretty much you're just staying alive. And looking back, like how did we do that? Like
You
mentally,
know it.
no wonder
Yeah.
Andy and I almost fought. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like like
It's true.
Andy was like all eating his beef and their steak and like his fish oils and stuff, and I'm sitting there sucking on frozen tilapia.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like no wonder I was
How you
grumpy.
guys did that stuff, man? I would just go low carb all week and then binge on the weekend, and it was just a mess. And I mean, that was too.
Andy's got that freaky
I don't recommend
metabolism that
that,
we
by the way.
all wish we had.
No.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Andy does have a good metabolism as well, right? So
Even. Yeah.
yeah. So uh yeah. Okay,
I have a
so
question for Mike.
okay, go ahead. Sure.
What was your favorite contest that you won, Mike?
Hard to pick just one, but if I could pick the one that I was most shocked that I won, would be the Danny Langtang show in 2004, Mr. New Brunswick. And Danny came in weighing about 245 pounds. And
Whoa.
I was at my biggest too. I had never competed at 160 pounds before. It was only 6 pounds heavier, but it was real quality muscle. I had taken 4 years off from the 2000 New Brunswicks, and I had met Bruce Sweeney, and part of the deal was if I was going to work for Simply for Life, he wanted me to get back on the stage. So he trained me for that show, and
Interesting.
I come back real good at 160 pounds, and I was able to get Danny at the end, and yeah, well, that was
I'll
probably
never
my
forget that.
yeah.
I watched that too.
The roof came off that place, man. That
Mhm.
was the best show I've ever seen.
Yeah, that
It was
a,
literally David and Goliath.
yeah.
It was literally he looked double your size, man, but you were just so conditioned. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Detail. I was always good at that part, and what Bruce had taught me was really how to eat for a contest, and not to be afraid of my food, and to increase calories everywhere. And I was eating a hamburger before bed, and 8 ounces with half cup of salsa, and doing that, for 6 and 7 weeks in a row. So yeah, it was a great way to jump back into the game again after being off 4 years.
Hmm.
Oh,
Trying
that's
something new.
Yeah, yeah, and then that was the new fitting for the new diet. That was the new one. I always like to pick one and just go
Yeah.
with that. And I was confident after I mastered the food and the not afraid of calories that, yeah.
so that's really yeah, that's really interesting. I had a really similar problem where you say being like afraid of food, afraid of calories, afraid to eat, I think that was a lot of my problem coming into my first like 3, 4 shows, 5 shows even. It's
Yeah.
just like, even though I had a coach, I would still almost self sabotage myself a little bit, and like just thinking if you have a little bit less, I'll be a
Yeah.
little bit leaner, and not really. And you're like, but it doesn't really work that way if you're
It
like going
doesn't.
off the plan,
Yeah.
right? And like you
Yeah.
just end up, I personally, I just end up shrinking away. I come in like really peeled, but flat or not, yeah, flat, and wouldn't be able to hold my own
Mm.
against some of the bigger guys.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if people that are watching, thinking about like food is and calories are really, really important, right? They
It's the
help.
key.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
got to eat. You got to eat to be lean too, which sounds
Hmm.
counterproductive, but in a way, you have to eat to keep the metabolism running, right? You can
Yeah.
And
stall
don't lie
out.
to your coach.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
exactly.
Don't coach.
Right.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's
100%.
a process, and I find the food's like a roadmap. You set a timeline with a destination on where you are and how long it's going to take to get there, and it's nice to have that roadmap that you trust, that you can put all your effort into it with no wondering if I'm doing the right or wrong thing. And that's why I think it's always, no matter how good you get, you should always have somebody kind of overseeing a
Right.
little bit. Sometimes the
Hmm.
mirror says you look good, so you think maybe you can eat a little bit more for supper, but you know,
Right. So
Right.
I like to add to your analogy there. Yeah, like use the roadmap, but your coach is your co-pilot, your co-driver holding the map.
yeah,
And
Hmm.
if something is blocking your destination, your coach can tell you to take a left or take a right, and it'll still
yeah,
get you to that destination, right? So
Yeah.
he's the one that's the guiding, or he or she is the one that's guiding you.
Hmm.
So it's really, really important to trust the process, right? And just keep going. If the coaches are experienced and good, obviously,
yeah,
You're right.
right? So, and yeah, so I've learned that over time as well. And so it's been, again, it's all a learning process. Every show is a learning process. And yeah, we're going to jump into a couple questions. Cool.
yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. So we got like probably about 23, 24 questions from the Facebook and Instagram. Probably not going to get time to go through them all, but
Yeah,
we'll throw some interesting ones out there.
yeah,
Uh,
please.
yeah, going back to your first show, if you can remember, like why did you even decide to do it in the first place? So people that are coming in thinking they want to do their first show, they're not sure. They're kind of like, what was like the thing that pushed you to going, yeah, okay, let's do this at like 100 and 130, 140 pound guy. Like, I want to go on stage.
Yeah, well,
I think I
we
could be. I think I could win.
Arnold Schwarzenegger was a real icon to me because I had read everything as I was growing up. My dad was a bodybuilder, and he never competed, but he had the look of a bodybuilder that I was amazed. He looked like, similar to bodybuilders, not a pro or anything, but he had big arms, he had big chest, he had the great legs. It was like he did look different than every other dad. So I saw kind of what I learned and learned what I saw. And then I found out through time of exercise, I was always working out in the basement, always working out in the basement. And then I had moved to Moncton and started working out at a gym called the Fitness Bank. And at the Fitness Bank, there were people there that actually competed. And I was like, there's a show that you can compete. And I'm like, I want to be part of this. Like, even I don't care if I'm small or not. I can be like, I can be like Arnold, and I've seen pictures when he was 16, and the perception in a magazine or a book, and then looking at myself, he didn't look a whole lot worse or bigger than I was. I was like, I'm good at
Right.
that. I'm 16. I'm as good as that. So, not to mention that was like 1968, and this was 1992. But in my mind's eye, I believed in myself that I could be good bodybuilder, and yeah. And I just went from there. I met a lot of guys at the fitness bank that competed, and I got the timeline down for the show, and I just happened to meet the right people, and there it was.
And off you went. Do you
Yeah,
remember what it was like your first time on stage?
yeah.
Oh no, sorry. Let's back up. Do you remember the process of dieting and what that was like physically, mentally? Was it hard? Did you suffer? Were you like, did you get like that foggy brain throughout the diet? 'Cause I know a few people right now that are dieting for the natural show, and they are dying. They're
Yeah.
complaining. They're miserable, but they only have. But
For
they're doing
me,
good. They're doing good. But
yeah,
we want to.
yeah. For
How was
me,
your experience?
it was hard. I suffered because you guys heard the diet. It was very
Yeah.
simple. There wasn't a lot of
Yeah.
food, and I was hungry every time I was done eating. I was on the clock to wait till it was time to eat again. So it was 12 weeks of suffering, but the mirror and the look, it happened quick too, and so that motivated me through. I just thought this was everybody feels, everybody must suffer, so I can't complain because everybody at the show is going to be, suffering just like me. So I didn't know any different until again when I learned how to eat. It made the show a lot more not easy to get ready for, but I didn't mind the diet at all. This was heaven compared to what I was used to back in the day.
And do you remember what it was like being on stage? Were you nervous? Were you like, did
I
you have a
was
routine planned? Did you, uh,
It was like a switch I found when I hit the stage. It was like a switch. All of a sudden, I'm seeing the crowd, but really I'm looking at myself as I move to show the crowd what I want them to see. So I was
oh,
almost
that's
in a
really interesting.
yeah, I was almost like in a trance as I moved. But it always seemed to come so quick. You're backstage, you're pumping up, you're in the lineup, and then all of a sudden they're calling your name, and now it's you, and you're out there, and then you're not out there, and it just always seemed to go so quick. But I always felt fairly confident on stage. Um, Most times I've competed.
That's that's fantastic. Most times, was there a time where you didn't? When you were
I
going
gotta
up
say,
against Jamie, maybe?
yeah, yeah. Well, that was always touchy. Always wondering Jamie's face was going to be so shredded. It had my mind had
Jamie's face.
that mind game he could do just clenching his jaw. Uh, there was the last couple of gladiators that I did. I was nervous.
Oh, those were
Yeah,
one of your later shows too.
yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
Just the
Yeah.
last. Yeah, but other than that, I felt really good. Except nationals again was a. I missed my weight class in 2013 in Halifax. I was coming in as a lightweight, hoping, but I woke up on the Friday before the show to get weighed in, and I woke up heavy that morning. I had to make 154, and I woke up 158 pounds. So I didn't lose any weight overnight. I actually put fluid on. So when I woke up, I looked puffy. And so we'll drive to Halifax with the heat up in the car. I'm sweating bullets, but the
I
weight's
know
coming
that
off.
feeling.
Oh man, the family was not happy. I got the girls in
No.
the car, and my wife is driving, and I'm like, babe, don't worry. And Bruce gave me like this much coffee to drink, just sip, and I couldn't go to the bathroom if I prayed, and nothing was coming out. By the time I showed up in Halifax, I was 156, so and a half. You can lose a pound and a half from St. John to Halifax, put the windows up and the heat on, just for all everybody's information. But
Dude,
yeah, I showed up.
I dropped 3.5. I had to do the same thing in 2022.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
It's a bugger. There's no more stress than that. I mean, how many weeks we take to get ready, and then the last day I'm going to screw it all up
Yeah.
by not making weight. And
Sorry,
we found the
Jamie.
sauna. Yeah, Jamie knows. Yeah, it
Yeah,
happens.
it
Yeah,
happens.
it happens. Yeah,
Yeah.
but here nor there. That was a show. I missed my weight class by point 0.2, and instead of
Oh,
making the lightweight, I got
you
ended
didn't
up in the
shave your head or
welterweight.
anything? I would have. I
Couldn't
would
do
have.
nothing, man. I even run. I was in Halifax, so I run up that little hill up at the big the
Yeah.
fortress there and all that. And I run up there, run all the way back. You only had a half an hour. By the time I got back, I only had pulled point 0.4 off, and I was shy point 0.2.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So yeah. So anyway, still worked out. It was an
Yeah.
okay. It was a good show. I got third that year, which was my first third place in a lot of years. And at first I was upset, but to think back now, I shouldn't have been upset at all. Third place in the country there was 14 guys in the class, and
That's amazing.
so
And you, and
yeah,
in the next weight class up.
Yeah, at the bottom of the next weight class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I woke up the next morning 153.9 pounds.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, so Saturday morning of the show, I'm 153.9, but I tell you, I had all kinds of room to fill up, and I was up at 6, and I must have ate right to the show. And I don't know what I would have. I wouldn't have been too much heavier when I hit the stage, but I felt good back there. But looking at the lineup when they were all calling everybody to come out, there was a heat wave that year, and people were falling on the stage as they were posing and hitting the ground. You could just sound like sacks of potatoes. And so you're
Wow.
backstage
A pile
getting
of
ready to
bodies and they're
pose,
just
and you can hear
stacking.
the lightweight winner actually passed right out, hit the floor. They almost disqualified him, but he kind of fought his way through it, and he ended up winning that class. But yeah, it was a heat wave, and people were. I'm talking every other time you'd hear go boom, and it would be a
Oh,
person hitting the
man.
floor. Yeah,
Yeah,
they put me.
the guy right beside me in that show, he passed out. He fell down.
Yeah,
We're
you
like,
were there
"Ooh."
too. Yeah, Andy was there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I did that one with you there, and I remember the guy just fell down. Well, he's out. They just pulled him
they
off.
did.
By the end, they're just pulling him off the stage.
Just
Yeah,
had a
it
pile
was
of them in the
brutal.
back, just cover them with a
Pile in the
blanket.
back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was brutal. It was hot.
Wow, that's intense. Also sounds really crazy and something kind of really cool to be a part of.
Yeah, it was awesome. So, because we knew every other person, Andy was there,
Right.
and I think Mike Gray was there, and
Yeah.
Wayne Doucette
Kupke
was
was there.
there. Who?
Kupke was
Huh?
there.
Yeah,
Andrew Kupke was there.
yeah. Cupkey was there too. Yeah, there was a whole bunch of us that went
There's
down
a
that we
bunch of guys.
knew.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome. Awesome.
Awesome. So, okay, I gotta do this. You mentioned Cupkey. Great segue into a question from
Oh yeah. Okay.
a great segue into the question from one of the viewers. It's not coming from me, so I have
Yeah,
no
yeah.
idea.
No,
I
no.
don't.
Actually, this
This
sounds like
is
it's going to be a serious question.
it's not coming from me. I don't know the person, but I gotta just find it here. Where'd it go? Hope I didn't delete it. Okay. It says, I'm just reading it off my phone. I just have a big
Okay.
list of questions. I just have a big list of questions.
No worries.
So ask Griffin why he sabotaged Kupke's tan prior to the show. He ended up winning. The judges told Kupke to wash it off as it was terrible. I'm sure he will deny it. Mike's friend Jamie was also competing and looking for the advantage.
So okay,
I don't know.
that is so funny, and I'd love to hear where that came from. But that
I
was
don't. Yeah.
2004 because that was the only time I think, except for the nationals, that I competed with Andrew Kupke. Yeah, twice. It was 2013, but he was in a different division, and that for he was a lightweight and I was the welterweight. And I don't recollect putting any tan on him, but I did help a lot of guys backstage. Everybody did that back then. You didn't have
You
tanners
had
so
like the
much. A
pro
guy would
tan
pass you
stuff
a
or the dream
bottle.
tan.
Yeah, he would just
Every,
you'd pass the bottle and say, "Can you put some stuff on my back?" And honestly, as you're getting ready, you can imagine a competitor coming up to you saying, "Can you put some tan on me?" Which I don't mind doing, and I can't remember. Maybe I did, but I don't think I tried to sabotage him because I'm too concerned about myself. I don't care about him. Um,
right.
so I don't know. I'm a pretty good tanner. I tan a lot of guys. If his tan wasn't good, he
So
passed it to me.
maybe
So
did you
he
like
wasn't
maybe miss
good
some
again.
spots? Didn't
Huh?
forgot his legs or something? I don't know exactly what
Fuck,
happened,
he was
but
standing in the shadow or something. I don't know. But I know when you don't win an overall, it sucks. So maybe he thought that was the reason.
Jamie.
I don't know. I'll have to ask
was
Andrew.
I which
I was
so
there. I saw it. Andrew would have been first, but his tan was just a little bit off. I saw it.
Yeah, you were there. Yeah, the
I was
legs. I
there.
think
I
there's
was not
pictures.
Yeah,
there.
I'll
yeah.
tell you why he didn't win because he was
Well,
the lightweight and I was a better welterweight. That was it. You ask him. I was better that show. He'll tell you.
We
you
should.
say I was in that show too, Josh?
That's what the person mentioned.
So
No.
Mike, you must have been there with me, not in the show. and I must have been competing against Cupkey.
Oh, what did he say?
Yeah,
I won the show, or who
There
won the
was no
show?
particular date on this show or in this
Oh,
question.
okay.
So maybe it was that, or
Maybe-
maybe you did Cupkey's tan and Mike and Jamie was competing.
Well, I'll tell you,
That is
I
a
did a lot
possibility.
of people's tan backstage, and I tried to get them all good. So if I didn't get your tan good, Andrew, I apologize. Yeah.
I don't.
That's Andrew
Mike,
for sure. That's an alias. That's Andrew there asking that question. I know it.
Did he?
Yeah.
Mike, we
Yeah.
didn't
And he was,
compete in this.
Yeah.
We
Andrew
didn't.
made a fake account? I don't know, and they
Yeah.
came
Mike and
up.
I never. Mike and I never
Hmm?
competed together when we hit the seniors until we hit gladiators.
That's right.
We didn't. We after juniors, I wouldn't go near him again.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, and
So
Andrew was
so
in the Gladiator too. Yeah, so I guess we did 3 shows together, Andrew, and yeah, and you and I.
So maybe it
3.
was. Did you do? You didn't do. No, they had.
No, they had tanners for the
they had
Gladiators.
Marlowe tanning at that particular
Yeah,
time.
you
I
weren't
think.
allowed to
yeah.
get your own tan. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe it was. Yeah, it's hard to
That'd be
say.
back in the day somewhere.
Yeah, no, I can guarantee I wouldn't. I wouldn't have sabotaged. No, no, no.
No.
Andrew, good friend of mine, and
Yeah.
I hope it would. I gotta ask him. I'm
that's dirty,
dying.
Mike. That's dirty.
I'm having a hard time believing this whole thing.
Okay,
Yeah, I don't think that's true.
Just kidding.
Hey, Mike, we had to do what we had to do,
that's right. Yeah, there ain't no messing around when it comes to winning number 1, number 2.
right?
Did you like?
If they asked you to, so go ahead, Josh.
I was just gonna say, did you take his shirt too and hide it somewhere?
No,
Why?
I would better do the tan thing would be more hurtful. So
The old Arnold trick.
that is a good trick. Might catch you me. Yeah.
Okay, so I think that's pretty. I like that answer. It was like, if it happened, sorry, buddy. If not, we don't.
Yeah.
Wasn't intentional.
It
Wasn't.
wasn't intentional. I can tell you, sometimes there was like 10 guys lined up, so you're just slapping it on as good as you can. Move, get it, move.
Someone. Are you looking at competing again, or are you done?
I'm done. Yeah,
You're done.
for sure. Definitely retired. Yeah, it's just not the same. I did a 60-day kind of a contest thing between me and myself, and just to bring myself back to a certain level of fitness. And I really pushed hard. I trained like I trained, but I had taken a lot of time off too. But I could tell by the way the weight was coming off and the muscle was coming back, it wasn't going to sit the same as it used to. And it had been about 4 years since I had done a show now. At the 4 or 5 years. So it's just different now. I feel that
Yeah.
my best look wouldn't be my best look. So I think competing for the love of the game would be great, but it's too hard to do just for the love of the game. I like to win.
Yeah. I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
We still compete. We all still try to compete to win, right? It's not
No.
like the sacrifices that this sport requires just to do it, just to go in and place, I'm just gonna place whatever. I think that's
I
it's
never
a lot
trained.
of sacrifice just to place somewhere.
Yeah.
We always have to push to be the best and try to win if we're like have that competitive mindset for sure.
Yeah.
Motivation Monday. What is that?
Yeah. Yeah. What is
Let's
that?
hear it, man. Someone loves it. Wants you to talk about it. What's going on? Your Motivation Monday videos. They're a pretty big hit.
So I started doing that on them. They at Simply for Life, they all wanted us to do a little video, and I come up with this Monday motivation, and
That's what it is. Okay, yeah.
yeah, and I just started spewing off. One day, hey everybody, it's Happy Monday. Put your feet on the floor. And my first trainer, Tijan LeBlanc, had told me, because I asked him one morning how you get up so early, and he told me you just put your feet on the floor. So that come from him. And I was like, so put your feet on the floor. And so every Monday now I think of something to come up with that just resonates with myself or somebody that I've chatted with, or it's just something I know that's kind of going on in people's mind's eye. And give them a little pep talk in 60 seconds.
I like it. Yeah, I think it really gets people going. I just could see like on the views and the comments and stuff, people love it. So good
It's
job.
the
man.
energy, eh?
That little
It's
bit,
fun. I
like
get
those
charged up.
60,
So you can't be down and out when you're doing one of those.
right?
No.
Yeah, I'm sure it has. Andy, I want to see yours.
Yeah, okay, I'll do one.
Motivational
Yeah,
Monday.
Andy's is gonna be called Tuesday Tears.
yeah,
Yeah.
Tuesday in tears.
Tuesday Tears.
Yeah.
the, the the sad start to the day.
I
Yeah.
wish I had that energy, buddy. I wish I did.
Yeah.
We went over a couple already throughout. Um, what's your favorite Disney movie?
My
Everybody.
favorite. Oh,
Everybody.
okay. Yeah. Yeah. Disney like Marvel or Disney.
I would say like I don't know. Sure that I would refer probably to cartoons,
Would you?
but
Would you? I don't know.
would you? Oh damn.
Ask him about a Marvel movie. He'll give you an answer.
Yeah,
There.
you can talk Marvel all day. I love all Disney. I love all animated. I'm a huge Marvel fan, DC fan. So I love all those movies, but I couldn't directly throw a dart at what my favorite Disney movie is. But I've seen them all twice
Oh,
because I have two little girls that we've watched them for years.
yeah. No, so you like them all. I prefer Aladdin probably. Is one
Yeah,
of my
that's a good one.
favorites. The original.
I agree.
Yeah.
I just love the song.
Aladdin?
Andy, I could have said anything. I
I agree.
I agree.
Yeah.
agree. Yeah.
I like the boat or the Roadrunner. Is it that them
Oh, yeah.
cartoons like with
Yeah.
them old ones? That's what I like.
Oh, the old school
Roadrunner.
stuff.
You and I are
Yeah.
going
I
way
don't
back
think
to the
that's Disney,
70s.
but
man.
let's count that.
Well, it's cartoons.
Yeah. It's all the
Yeah. I'm with you. It
Right?
could be Disney if you didn't know.
same.
You didn't know. Now they know,
Yeah.
Josh. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now everybody knows that that's not Disney.
Yeah, that's
Sorry.
He's stupid. He's stupid.
How does he not know this? God. All right. Someone else wrote in and said, "I think my boyfriend might be gay. He's always looking at other. He's always looking and commenting about other guys, and telling me to look at them. What should I do? Accept it? Nothing?
Yeah.
Does that really
Yeah.
mean you're gay? I don't know. Nothing wrong. With
I
it
don't
if it
think that
is.
makes it gay.
He's
It might.
Huh?
Is
It
it like-
might.
It might. It might.
It might.
You know. Is he like have a look at this guy? Is he as good as
my
me?
wife just
or-
popped her head into the room. She says, "You ask me about guys all the time." I'm like, "You're
Yeah.
look at this guy." I'm like,
Yeah. What do you do to this guy? Look at
Oh
his
shit.
legs.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
Maybe
look at his
I
back.
am.
No, you're not. If you have to ask if you think you might be, that you're probably not because you're just not.
All right. So.
You scroll through any one of our Instagram, it's all going to be half naked guys. I mean, that's
That's kind of like
Yeah.
going back to like what Arnold said what his mom was worried about. He always had pictures of guys all over his room instead
Yeah.
of girls, right? I was kind of in my later years, my like late teens and 20s. Yeah, I had Arnold in his underwear and like Ronnie and like all those Jay and all up over my walls. People thought it was weird, but for me, looking at another guy and going, that guy looks good. I think it's more of a compliment on the work ethic that's been put in there, and like appreciating like the aesthetics and the art of the body.
it's what you want to be, maybe not what you want to be with.
Right.
Yeah.
It's what you're
True.
striving to
Right.
look.
Like
Yeah,
say,
exactly.
it's like, hey babe,
kinda like
check out
goals.
that guy. Look at his arms. He looks really good.
Yeah,
It's like
exactly.
It's like
Yeah.
usually it comes from or look at that guy's arms. Like man, it's like I wish I had those, or I wish I looked like
Do you guys
that.
remember when Mike Griffin used to work at GNC?
Yeah.
I used to
I-
go into
I re-
GNC, and Mike Griffin would be in there and have the giant arms just
I
busting out
remember
of
that
his shirt.
too.
You remember that?
It was
Yeah,
I remember
scary. It was intimidating.
It was the
I remember
craziest thing.
before
Big
that.
arms like that. Ever since, that's what motivated me.
Yeah. My
He had
I
those-
agree though. Arms. I was arm king for a little while. Yeah, I had some good arms. That was where
Your
I
arms
shined at
and your
PLF.
forearms were unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Sick.
Thanks,
Yeah.
guys. Yeah,
Yeah.
all the pictures on my wall were guys that emulated where I wanted to be or what I wanted to have, even though if it was plausible or not. To look at those pictures to know that it is possible.
Hmm.
I never compared myself to the guys in the gym. I always tried to compare myself to the guys in the magazine because I knew
Yeah.
that if I was as good as that guy, then when I go to the show, I think that's what brought my confidence. I was always really conditioned, so I knew if somebody was going to beat me, it was going to have to. He's just going to have to be better, more of the same type of thing.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
I tried to have no flaw.
Cool. So back to the original question. Uh, Gay? No, probably not. But
No,
maybe.
Probably
not.
not.
I'd say not. No. Yeah.
I'd say no.
Yeah.
but
Hey, maybe.
but maybe. Just a,
But,
there's a chance.
hey,
There's
hey,
Maybe.
Mike.
Yep.
What was the first? What was the first? Not GNC. What was the first one you worked at? Um,
Winning ways.
Winning Ways. Right. I remember
That
that.
was
That's,
1994. I started there. Yeah. And the
yeah.
McAllister Mall. Yeah.
I remember
Active
that.
wear
Yeah.
and nutrition. Yeah, it was awesome. Had all the protein I could get, all the
Yeah.
vitamins I needed at the time, and then you get all the active wear there too. So all the bodybuilding clothes that we used to like, the pants and the shirts, and that we sold everything. So that was heaven for me. That was a great job.
Yeah.
and that's not around anymore. When did that take off? I
GNC
like the
actually
name
bought
of
that
it.
company. Yeah, GNC actually bought that company out, and to get rid
Okay.
of all the active wear, and they just enhanced it double fold with vitamins and weight gainers and meal replacements and protein and you name it. Yeah.
Uh, that's neat. Yeah. Hey, yeah, I like the name of that place. Sounded pretty neat. So who? Okay, you kind of touched on it, but who coached you for your first show, and, and how did you find them? And how do you
Um,
recommend? How do you recommend a new person going and looking for a coach? This could be
it was
directed
for
towards
my
every.
first.
These questions are usually also directed towards everybody. It's not like Mike specific.
Yeah, no, go ahead, guys.
Oh, you go ahead, Mike.
Well, the first for me, I had met two people in the gym that seemed to train very seriously, and they looked amazing. And they had come to approach me because I had been working hard, and I'm always looking over. I was watching them and see what they're doing and trying to emulate it. Because I only knew what I knew in the backyard, but when I started training for show, I trained at the YMCA, and that's where these guys worked out at. And she gave me my first diet. How I met them was more of a introducing myself. You guys look amazing, and then she happened to be very good on the diet, and he looked amazing. Kirk Smith was nose to toes incredible. And Cheryl was a great female bodybuilder too, so I trusted them right off the bat. And I just kind of, I would say to those looking for a great coach, don't be afraid to introduce yourself to a person in the gym. Most guys there are pretty handy and like to help. And yeah, so I would say, yeah, don't be afraid to go up and talk to the guy in the corner lifting the weights. He's probably just as friendly as you think he is, and he can give you some good direction.
Yeah, usually like the guys that look good in the gym are getting help from other people too. They can, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's this sport is it's pretty solitary, but also in another way, it takes a team too, and on the back end, and that's
Like
usually when people come talk to me, I usually will point them in a direction more suited to like what I think I would usually point them to my coach, or
yeah.
if my coach is busy, I'll point them to somebody else that I believe in and trust in their abilities as well. So I think yeah, it's always worth talking to people. 100%.
It's different now too. Back in the day, there was no internet. There was no other
Online
way. You just knew
coaching.
people
Yeah.
from how you. There was nothing. So you just knew the guys in the gym that were in shape, and you I guess you rolled the dice to whether or not you were going to get good information. Now there's so
Yeah.
much and
I
easy
think
ways
there's
to start
too
up
much,
review.
to be
There's
honest.
a lot of people that throw their hat in the ring for bodybuilding coaches that I think that have done a show and now they're going to use their diet for other people and yeah.
It, I remember back in the day, Mike. Remember, I even got on the bus. and went to St. John just to see Mike for the weekend as he was
Yep.
coaching me. So we talk on the phone a little bit, and then I get ready and I get on the bus and go to St. John and stay with him for a day or two and check me out, and back on the bus and back on home again.
That's
Because
great.
I wouldn't want to take the car right from the family or anything like that,
Right.
so I do it all myself. Yeah. So
Right.
there's always ways. But back in the day, it was quite tough to have somebody that that you could have for a coach. Really.
100%. Yes, but we all also we all started training before and started competing before social media, right? So we were just doing it for ourselves and the love of training, and just with not a lot of reward except for you know maybe like a small group of family and friends around us there to celebrate. Now with social media, we get the reward is even winning like a local show is so much more greater, and like through social
Yes.
media and like
Yeah.
the do you find a lot of people now are getting in a little bit more into the fitness industry and competing just to increase like popularity, or like thinking that this is the cool thing to do now because it's really exploding compared to back in when we were first starting? It's a little different. The people are starting younger, and like, do you think it's a little bit more, yeah, just a little bit more popular now? Do you know all that?
Sorry,
Oh,
we got the dog. Yeah.
definitely more popular now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Oh, definitely.
working in the health and nutrition industry. I don't see as many people anymore as I used to. As training for shows, I just don't get those people anymore.
Right. Okay.
But I've been to the shows, and there is so many more competitors than there used to be. And I think it's all from the great. They have all the different classes. If it wasn't for the expansion, and as much as some of the classes are really long, if it wasn't for those classes and those other divisions, we probably wouldn't have a bodybuilding show anymore around here locally. I don't think, because let's be honest, there's not a lot of bodybuilders competing even right now in the amateur level.
I agree. Oh, you there? You froze.
Oh, there we go. You
Okay.
freeze
There
up.
we are.
There we
Yeah,
go. We're
you're
back.
frozen. There we go. We're back.
We're back.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, it's all good.
Mike, do you think that's maybe due to all the different classes though? Like back in the day, if you wanted to compete, you competed in bodybuilding, like Andy said. So
Yeah.
it kind of opened everybody up to let them go somewhere else too, right? Instead of just going to
Yes.
bodybuilding.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
think there's a lot of divisions now, and I think it leaves opportunity for a lot more people. And I think it's just where you're surrounding. If I worked for a gym or I did more personal training, there probably would have more clients. But I guess for where I'm at right now, I see more of the lifestyle, learning people how to
Yeah.
follow good guidelines of healthy living.
Right.
Yeah.
Would you take on clients for bodybuilding? Do you do
I'm
that?
actually just finishing up with my last couple of clients now that I have getting ready. And that's going to be quits. I think I just kind of past that right now. It takes a lot of time for training, and it's a big commitment. And to be the proper coach, I think you've got to be with that person 24/7. And yeah, so these will be my last little bit here this summer.
Cool. What shows are they going into?
I have a young fella getting ready for the Natural New Brunswick's, the Naturals coming
Yeah,
up here in 3 weeks out, and 2 weeks out, Saturday.
it'll be 2 weeks Saturday, I think, coming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and then the Flex Lewis, I have my champ Connie, and she does great, and so I'm looking forward to that too.
Awesome. Oh yeah. So speaking about the NB Natural Show, bodybuilding's amateur. We're sponsoring a class, so we're really excited about that. We're going to be there at the show, handing out some awards and also doing something really special. So I've been working with the promoter Heather and Tijon, and we're going to be bringing something a little different uh, for all the competitors. So we're really excited and excited to share the news here shortly. Also, all of this crazy guys, Andy, Jamie, hopefully, Devin, if you can make it down, we're all going to be there supporting the show. Mike, you're coming too?
Yeah, I'm actually going to be there the Friday night. We're going to play it old school, and I got my athlete there. He's getting all ready, and so I'm going to see him on Friday for the weigh-in, and then they'll go to the meeting, and yeah, just play it like back in the day. I'll see him Saturday morning, get him all carved up and ready to go, and then I'll play coach mode for the day, and yeah, it's going to be a good time. We're going to spend the whole weekend there.
Awesome. So we're all going to be down there. We're going to be celebrating the national show and supporting them and the podcast. So which is going to be we're going to have a blast, and we're going to try to get some filming in too to put up on the channel.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's great.
And then after that, we're going to be doing the Nova Scotia show.
Wicked.
Yeah, we're going to be sponsoring that, and be hopefully going to be doing somewhat similar to the same thing, maybe a little bit different of an event there as well. But the shitty thing is I'll be a week out, so I don't know how that will go.
Oh, you're a week out then. Ooh.
I will be a week out.
You're brave.
So I don't know how well I will do. I may need you guys to help carry me around.
Yeah. Give you a little push in the right direction. I'll give you a good Monday motivation.
Ah,
There you
yes. All right, let's get one or two more questions in for everybody. We have some training questions. We got lifestyle questions. Let's try to find people had a couple questions about your training style, Mike. Like when you were competing.
Yeah.
How besides the diet and like what do you think really helped you get condition, to get those lines, get the separation? What was your go-to training style throughout the off season and prep? Did it even change?
It never changed a whole lot. I guess my structure just tightened up. I never missed. Everything was online as far as food goes. It was, if I was supposed to eat at 6, it was 6. It wasn't 5:59. It wasn't 6:01. It was bang on the dot. Every Monday was arms. Every Tuesday was legs. Every Wednesday was shoulders. Every Thursday was back. Every Friday was chest. And then Saturday used to be 1 hour of cardio. And that would be pretty much for my cardio. That's what I would do. Never really was a cardio fan. Yeah, and then Sundays would just be completely off rest. And then the cycle went again. I carried that routine for years, and usually 4 sets per exercise, and four exercises per body part.
4 exercises per. And would you go to would you be low rep, high rep? Would you sit in the middle somewhere? Go for
I always climbed the ladder, so I'd start at a lightweight, and I would go heavy, and then my third set would be the heaviest set. And then if I felt real good, I might go heavier again. But if that was my peak, I'd drop right back down to the second set and do that one until I burn out, till I can't do them anymore.
So would all sets be like taking a failure almost, or what? Or would you leave some reps in reserve?
There would be some fuel left in there. The first one is more of a warm up, get the blood going. My reps would be like a 1 count up, 2 counts down, nice slow. And then the second one would be, we can go up 5 pounds. When I used to train arms, I used to jump from my first set would be 40 warm up, second set would be 60s. And my last set was usually somewhere around the 80-pound dumbbell range. I tried 90s one time. They weren't pretty.
Are you talking barbell or dumbbells?
What's that? Dumbbell.
You're talking
dumbbell curl. Yeah,
What?
I could do 10 reps with 80-pound dumbbell curls, real pretty.
Oh man,
Yeah,
people have a hard time shrugging that, dude.
Yeah, that was my king weight, but I always had that strength in my arms from the time I was little. My first routine when I was young had arms in every workout. So you would train chest on Monday. This is when I started. Chest on Monday, but with arms. Back on Tuesday, but with arms. Legs would go with arms too. And then there's one arm day. You do that. I'm not kidding you. And I did that for years, and I would beg that, some people would argue, well, obviously you're overtraining, but I had the best arms I ever had, and I didn't. That's how I trained them.
Yeah,
So
we'll say it, the best arms around.
Yeah,
Well, they were
by a long
okay. They were
shot.
good. Yeah, they were good. But yeah, they were there. I trained them so much I could beat them to death. And
Just like it's just hearing that makes my elbows fucking hurt right now. I'm like getting uncomfortable.
I have one regret, boys. I was at the 2013. We'll just say it was a show that was in this city, and on stage, I don't know if it was Vance London, and anyhow, he had a competition, and he had 70-pound dumbbells, and everybody was going up on stage, and he was challenging these guys to lift them over his head, and somebody
Like a
would
circus
press
dumbbell lift.
and they were 70s, and fuck, I always regret. I was 3 weeks out from the nationals that year. And I wish I would have went up on stage and did those 70s for curls because I knew I could do it, but I was nervous at the same time, just sitting cold in the audience and grabbing those dumbbells and swinging out 10. Yeah, but I
You
would say
probably
that would
played
be
it.
one of my biggest regrets looking back that I didn't do that.
I mean, you probably played it safe,
Yeah.
right, Jamie?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Always play it safe.
Yeah. Well, I've learned that now. Took me
There was a
20
bigger
years.
goal. You
Yeah,
made the
there
right
was.
move.
You're right, Jamie. Yeah, you were there. I think you were there watching.
Probably I can't remember that one, but
Yeah.
I was down to a couple of those in the day when they first started. Yeah.
How do you
I think-
guys train? Like
What's
Andy,
that?
Jamie? Like how
Oh,
do you guys?
I train just like Mike was saying. The exact same thing. Start off, just get the motion in for the first set, and then go a little bit heavier for the second, and the third is usually my heavy set. And just like Mike said, if you're able to do it, go even harder for your fourth, and that's it. Four sets, and four exercises per body part.
I'm the same way. I mean, back and legs are a little bit more exercises, but the same routine. You start on a warm up and build up and hit your peak. Hit your peak in the next two or three, and try to get more if you can. If you can't, then rep them out. Back down and rep it out. It's like that all through my whole thing. Prep, off season, everything.
Throw in a drop set here and there, kind of thing. If you're feeling it.
Yeah.
Change up a little bit through like drop sets or like every day, like the giant sets or whatnot, going back and forth between like.
Yeah,
buys
I'm
and
more
tries,
about-
buys and tries, or do you just stick with tries, then stick with your biceps, and back and forth?
I go back and forth, buys and tries. Every workout I do that. Back and forth, buys and
same
tries.
here.
That pump feels amazing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Looks good too when they're both pumped up.
Yeah,
That's
makes you look
Looks
extra
better.
big. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm just going through. You guys got anything?
I had a couple questions too. I was thinking of too. Bring back the old times, but I forget.
Once up, boys, I'm just going to let the dog in. He's freaking it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I wonder if that hair makes him stronger too.
I think it gives him special powers. He's just not sharing them
Might.
yet.
It's like the waffles.
He's going to come
Yeah.
back with a big cape on and
Secret.
shit.
All right.
Nope.
It's like no cape. I thought he was gonna come back transformed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I got something to show you, boys.
Tell me if that statue. Oh, there.
What is that?
So that's
Halifax.
that's the 2006 trophies at the Nationals. They gave away these Inukshuk. So you guys see what
yeah.
this one looks like? It's pretty big, eh?
That's
Yeah.
really cool.
Well,
That's awesome.
the third place one you could put in your pocket. I'm not fucking kidding you.
Oh, go ahead.
It was this big. It was, honest to God, it might have been that big. So there was this one, and then the third place one was like that, and the second place one was not much bigger than the third place one. So you can imagine which you're looking at all those trophies. Which one you'd like to take home. He says, I want
Hey,
that
Mike.
little thing to take my trophy home out of my pocket and tell people this is what I got. All the way to
What year was
Saskatoon.
that, Mike? What year did you get that?
That was 2006.
Do you still have that trophy from the Atlantics overall?
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
a beauty. That was a beauty,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
I can tell you though, Jamie, she's not pretty though. She getting wiggly everywhere. The glue lets go in that stuff after 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a good show.
Was it you and Ben Pekulski? Was it you and Ben on stage together, Mike?
No, it
Who
was
was the one that
Fuad.
you were?
Fuad Abid.
Oh,
Fuad
Fuad.
Abid.
Yeah, it was Fuad.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Fuad won that show that year.
That was David Knowledger was up there that year too.
Yeah, Dave
Knobler,
did real
He
yeah.
had,
good. I think he won his division too.
yeah, he
Yeah.
was up in Toronto and he was telling me about the camera crew following him around because they told him after the weigh-ins that he was be in contention for the overall. He
Oh
couldn't
man,
believe
he
it.
looked amazing. Dave
After
looked.
the
Oh,
weigh-ins.
that guy's a freaking nature.
Yeah,
Frank Zane with muscle.
yeah. And I was talking to him and he says he's thinking on about getting back into training and competing.
Yeah,
That'd be
So
cool.
he sent me a few messages there last week and yeah, we'll keep in touch and see how that goes.
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that would be amazing. And then
I think Mike's got one more in him too. Honestly,
I think
Yeah.
so too.
I think so.
No. Yeah.
the energy
Not anymore.
there.
I'll cheer you
The
guys
energy's
on.
there for sure.
The energy's there, yeah, but that's about it.
Go get your pro card in the naturals.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'll be watching. Now I'm just watching you guys. I'm living through your eyes, guys. I did all that. I've been
I
through
don't
all
know.
that pain.
I don't know
Well,
how
you-
many more we got in us.
You might not have much time left.
Yeah. No, I'm building time on the other end now. I'm being good.
There you go.
Yeah, smart.
Yeah.
Smart. Awesome. Well, Mike, I think, yeah, thanks, dude, for coming on, buddy. Like,
Thank you. Yeah,
really
thank you.
appreciate it.
It's
It was a blast.
fun reminiscing about old times and just it brings me back, and it's awesome to watch you guys still smashing it out of the park.
Yeah, well,
so
we're trying. I just try to get
trying.
the last few in before it's time.
Yeah.
Like I just also I don't know if you remember when I stepped off stage at the Gladiators. You were backstage. Were you not? Or was that? Yeah. I remember sometimes I get my shows mixed up. So I remember coming off stage and you were back there after I got my class win. I turned to you and all I could do was there was tears in my eyes and I just looked at you and I said, "Thank you, Mike." Like you were a huge part of my success coming up. I remember the New Bodies days coming in when I met you. I was 140 pounds coming in and I seen this guy. I was like, "Who's that dude over there?" It was like, the staff were like, "Oh, that's Mike. Blah blah. Blah. He's like, it's like one of the big bodybuilders around here." I was like, "That guy's crazy looking," and I remember training, and I asked you. I was like so nervous. I was just coming into it. I haven't competed before, and I asked you about hamstrings and the laying hamstring curl, and you took your time out of your workout to show me something.
Oh, thanks, man.
And I was just like, holy crap. I was like, this dude that's like extremely famous around the city and like an extremely accomplished bodybuilder is helping me. I'm like, thank you. Like it really set a spark off and it really helped me, continue forward and,
Yeah.
You were always kind to all of
realizing-
us, Mike.
Yeah.
So
When we first started,
was a-
man, it was awesome.
It was always a
well,
big influence in my life too with bodybuilding and friendship. Like it was since the get go from '92. The friendship's been amazing. He's a great guy, but a motivator in every way, and always there to be your number one cheerleader too if he's with you. It's wicked.
Yeah.
for sure.
Thanks, you guys. I appreciate that, you guys. Well, bodybuilding is like a brotherhood, and not to mention we all get along very well. And it's a bonus to be in the sport you love and have friends that you love as well that are still doing it, and still remember the old guys like me, and talk about old times. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, buddy. All right.
You're
Have
a
a good
legend.
night.
Thanks, boys. Enjoy your
All right.
evening.
Thanks, guys. Talk
All
to
right.
Mike.
See you, both.
See you, Josh.
See you later,
See you,
guys.
Andy.
Later.
See you guys.
Hey, it's just podcast is over. That was good.
Yeah, that was good.
Oh, okay, good. He's gone.
Now we can talk about him.
Yeah.
So we're Andy, are you going down next in a couple weekends too, or are
Going
you
down
thinking
where?
of going to the show?
Yeah, I'd like to go. I don't know anybody that's doing it, or I don't think I do.
Yeah.
Well,
We're
But
all
I'd like
going
to
to be
go
there.
check it out. You going,
Uh,
Josh?
yeah. Like I'm sponsoring the class, one of the classes.
Oh, that's this show. Oh, I thought you meant the Flex class. The Flex. Oh,
Well, I'm sponsoring
Naturals is the one
the
that you're.
naturals, and then
Okay.
the Halifax show.
Okay.
I might be doing
Yeah,
the flex, so
I'll be there 100%. Yeah,
yeah, do it,
absolutely.
Josh.